The sky was on fire. Jack's ship fell through the clouds like a burning star. Smoke filled the cockpit. Red warning lights flashed in every direction. The control panel sparked. The ship shook so hard that Jack could barely breathe. Brace. For impact, the ship's AI voice said calmly. I'm trying, Jack shouted, gripping the controls, but nothing worked. The engines were dead. The landing gear wouldn't deploy. He was falling fast toward a green and blue planet he had never seen before. Outside, a thick jungle appeared. Then crash. The ship slammed into the ground with a deafening noise. Trees snapped like matchsticks. Metal screamed as it tore apart. The world went dark dot when Jack opened his eyes. Everything was blurry. Blood ran down his forehead. He was still strapped into the pilot seat, but everything around him was broken. Smoke rose from the console. The glass window was shattered. The I voice returned, softer this time. Crash confirmed. You are alive. Oxygen levels stable. Warning. Unknown planet. Scanning life forms? Jack tried to sit up, but groaned in. Pain. His left arm was bleeding. His head throbbed. He looked out through the cracks in the glass. The planet was strange. Tall blue trees, glowing flowers, and thick green air. It didn't look dangerous, but it didn't look safe either. Then the AI spoke again. Life forms detected. 412 humanoids in the area. All female. No male presence detected. Jack blinked. What? All life forms nearby are female. No males. Found. Jack slowly unbuckled himself. His ship was useless now. He grabbed a small pack of supplies and opened the broken hatch. Outside, the air was thick but breathable. He took a deep breath and stepped out. The ground was soft. The trees were tall and twisted, and strange sounds came from the distance like whispers or soft singing. He walked for a few minutes, looking for help or shelter or anything at all. Then he saw her. A woman stood at the edge of the jungle, watching him. She had silver hair, golden eyes, and clothes made of soft fabric that shimmered in the light. She didn't look scared. She looked curious, like she had found something rare. Hello? Jack said. She walked closer. Another woman appeared behind her. Then two more. Then 10. Within minutes, Jack was surrounded by women. All of them staring at him, whispering to each other, pointing. He's real. Is he a man? Touch him. Make sure. One woman stepped forward and touched Jack's face. He backed away. Easy. I just crashed here. I need help, he said. They didn't seem to care. They looked at him like he was treasure. Like he wasn't a person, but something rare and valuable. I'm Jack, he said, trying to stay calm. I come from Earth. The first woman smiled. You are the first. The first what? He asked. The first man we've seen in 100 years. Jack's heart started to race. Wait, what do you mean? Where are the men? They're gone, she said simply. Only we remain. Jack looked around. All the faces were female. All eyes were on him. They stepped closer. You must come with us, one said. To where? To the colony. You will be safe there. Jack didn't like the way she said safe. It didn't sound like a promise. It sounded like a trap. But he was hurt. Alone. Lost. He needed rest. And maybe they really could help. Fine, he said. But just until I fix my ship. They smiled and nodded, but none of them answered him. He noticed they moved in a circle around him, slowly guiding him down a path. One woman whispered to another, he doesn't know yet. We must prepare the room. As they walked through the forest, Jack asked questions. Do you have doctors? Food? A way to contact my people? They didn't answer. Instead, one woman turned and said, Do you belong to the colony now? Jack stopped. Excuse me? You are ours? Suddenly, he realized this wasn't a rescue. This was capture. Jack opened his eyes and found himself lying on a bed made of soft white leaves. The room was glowing, not with lights, but with walls made of some kind of living plant. They pulsed, gently like a heartbeat. The air smelled sweet, like honey and fresh rain, but something was wrong. His arm was bandaged, his head was clean. He felt no pain. He hadn't done that. Someone else had. Suddenly, a voice spoke from the wall. The male is awake. Within seconds, a door melted open, and 5 women entered. All of them wore long, white robes. Their faces were calm, smiling, but their eyes studied him like he was not a person, but a rare animal. Jack sat up slowly. Where am I? You are in the colony, one of them said. You were injured, another added. We healed you. He looked around. Where are my clothes? My bag. One woman stepped forward, holding folded clothes in her hands, but they weren't his. They were smooth, silver garments, like something a servant might wear, thin, barely covering the body. This is for you, she said. Jack stared at the clothes. No, thanks. I want my own stuff back. They paused, confused. But you belong. To the colony now, one of them said gently. Double quotes. No, I don't. Jack snapped. I never agreed to that. The 5 women exchanged a glance. One of them smiled softly. You don't need to agree, she said. They left him alone for a moment. Jack dressed in his old pants, ignoring the silver outfit. He walked to the door, but there was no handle. No way to open it. He touched the wall. It pulsed under his fingers. Alive! Open this door. He shouted. A voice came from nowhere. You must rest. Orientation begins soon. Orientation for what? No answer. An hour later, the door opened again. This time, there were more women waiting outside. Hundreds, maybe more. A wide hallway led to a large dome-shaped room glowing with gold light. Jack was led forward like a guest, or a prisoner. Inside the dome, he saw walls covered in old paintings, men and women living together. But over time, the men in the paintings grew fewer. Then none. In the center of the room stood a tall woman with dark eyes. She wore a crown of crystal. Clearly, she was in charge. I am Sarah, the voice of the colony, she said. Jack stepped forward. Listen, I didn't ask to be here. I crashed. I just need tools to fix my ship. Sarah smiled. You are the first man to arrive in our world in 107 years. Your ship is destroyed. You will not be leaving. Jack's hands clenched. Can at least give me freedom. I'm not yours. Gasps filled the room. Murmurs spread among the crowd. Of women, Sarah stepped closer. You must understand. On this planet, men are not free. There are none left. The last were taken by disease. You are rare, valuable, a gift. I'm not a gift, Jack said. I'm a person. She tilted her head. You are both. Suddenly music began to play. The floor under Jack's feet shifted. The dome, lights, dimmed. And then the room transformed, now looking like a stage. A woman stepped forward and announced, Let the selection ceremony begin. Jack blinked. Wait, what ceremony? Women lined up in rows. Each wore a different color. Each had a symbol on their robe tribes, maybe, or ranks. One by one, they began speaking. I am from the Red Garden. We request the male for bonding. I am from the South Tower. We offer him comfort and rest. I am from the Night Circle. We wish to study his biology. Jack backed away. What the hell is this? A younger girl whispered from behind. Him. Don't let them pick you. If they pick you, you belong to them? Suddenly a loud alarm rang. A blue light flashed. A robotic voice said, Subject Cash M1 resisting selection. Detain gently. Don't touch me. Jack shouted, but it was too late. 2 guards in silver armor stepped forward, gently but firmly holding his arms. He struggled, but they were stronger. I'm not staying here. He yelled. Sarah raised her hand. We do not harm. We only care. In time, you will understand your purpose. As they pulled him away, Jack looked back at the girl who warned him. She gave a tiny nod. There was still hope, but only if he escaped. Jack awoke to the sound of soft humming, not human humming. Mechanical, rhythmic. Cold. He opened his eyes and saw a white ceiling above him, clean, smooth, glowing faintly. His arms were strapped to the bed with golden bands. His legs, too. He couldn't move. He was no longer in the dome. This was somewhere deeper. A voice echoed from above. Subject hashtag M-1 is awake. Begin psychological softening. A soft mist sprayed down on his face. It smelled like flowers and something chemical. Jack coughed. Let me go, she shouted. I didn't agree to this, but no one came. The walls were watching him flat, seamless, alive. He was not in a room. He was in a cell. Hours passed. Or maybe more. There were no windows, no clocks. Just the mist, the lights, and the endless voice. You are safe. You are special. You are not alone. Finally, the door slid open. 3 women entered. This time, they were not smiling. They wore tight uniforms. No jewelry. No robes. Just cold eyes and black gloves. One of them scanned him with a small device. Vitals strong. Mind still resisting. Another wrote on a glowing tablet. He was not ready for physical pairing. Begin conditioning phase. What are you doing? To me? Jack asked. The third woman leaned closer. You are ours now. It's better if you accept. Jack was released from the bed, but only allowed to walk within a glass chamber. He was monitored every second. There was no sky, no birds, no silence, just machines. And orders. Every time he asked for freedom, they said the same thing. You are property. You have value. You must be protected. Later that day, Jack was taken to a room with screens. Each screen showed past recordings, other men who had landed. Here before, one by one, they arrived. One by one, they were welcomed. One by one, they disappeared. He saw a man scream. Another cry. Another one big dot, then nothing. The last screen turned off with 2 words written across it. Useful until broken. Jack turned to the woman beside him. Why are you showing me this? She answered calmly. So you understand what happens to those who resist. They stop being useful. Then they disappear. That night, Jack sat alone in the glass room. Then a voice came through the wall. Not the AI. A human whisper. Don't sleep. I'm coming to help. Jack jumped to his feet. Who? Are you? The voice didn't reply. But minutes later, the wall behind him opened silently. A girl stepped through. Same one from the selection dome. The one who warned him. My name is Lyra, she said. I'm with the quiet ones, the rebels. Rebels? Jack whispered, she nodded. We don't believe in keeping men as property. But we're few, hidden. The others will never let you go. Jack followed her out into a dark hallway. Where are we going? He asked. To the vault, she said. There's a file there. A secret. They moved through hidden tunnels, old, broken parts of the colony long forgotten. Finally, they reached the vault. Inside were shelves of glowing memory disks. Ancient history. Forbidden truth. Lyra handed Jack a disc. Play this. It's from the first generation, the time before all men vanished. Jack inserted it into a small console. The screen came to life. A woman's face appeared, old, wise, and serious. She spoke. To the future. If you find this, then the balance is gone. We tried to control nature. We tried to live without men, but it is failing. The system will collapse. If a male ever returns, protect him. He is not a tool. He is a chance to restore what was lost. Jack stared at the screen. You weren't always like this, he said softly. No, Lyra replied. But the leaders erased that truth. They turned survival into control. Suddenly an alarm. Red lights. Sirens. Unauthorized movement detected. Subject hashtag M-1 has escaped primary zone. They found us, Lyra said. Jack grabbed the memory disk. I won't go back. Then, run. They ran through the tunnels. Behind them, mechanical footsteps and drone lights chased their shadows. As Jack reached the surface. Breathing heavily, he looked up at the night sky, purple and filled with 2 moons. He was finally outside again. Free. But only for now, because the colony would come. They always did. Asterisk, the sky above was beautiful. 2 moons. Endless stars. A cool wind. But Jack wasn't looking up. He was running. His feet crashed through glowing grass. Drones buzzed behind him. scanning the ground. One of them flashed a red light. Subject hash tag M-1. Stop. Return. You are colony property. Jack didn't stop. He couldn't. He clutched the memory disk to his chest like it was a heartbeat. Beside him, Lyra kept running too, silent and fast. She didn't speak, only signaled with her hand. This way. They slid down a hill and vanished into a crack in the earth, below the surface. The world was different, gone were the smooth colony walls, the fake smiles, the sweet air. Down here, it was cold, gusty, real. Jack looked around. Pipes ran along the walls. Old machines hummed softly. Everything smelled like metal, and timed out Lyra finally spoke. Welcome to the deep. Jack caught his breath. What is this place? The old world, she said, before the colony changed. They passed through a hidden tunnel and entered. A wide underground chamber lit by old power cells. People, women stood in the shadows, not like the ones above. These wore scraps, tools, worn fabric. Their eyes were tired, their hands rough. One of them stepped forward. She was tall with gray streaks in her hair, a scar across her cheek. I am Myra, leader of the resistance, she said. Jack stood up straighter. You know what they're doing up there? What they did to the others? She nodded. We've known for years, but speaking out means punishment. Silence means survival. Jack placed the disc on the table. This is proof. Your founders never wanted this. They warned you. Mira stared at the disc. Then, Jack, maybe you're the one we were waiting for. Over the next hours, Jack learned the truth. The colony was dying, without male DNA. The women had used cloning to survive, but each generation grew weaker, slower, emotionless. Their leaders, desperate for control, erased history. They created a system where men were not people but property, and when a man returned, they would use him until he broke. Jack clenched his fists. They won't break me. Mira raised an eyebrow. They already tried. Lyra gave Jack a small, black device. This is an old transmitter. If you reach the top of Skyspire Mountain, you can send a signal off-planet. Jack looked at the map. The mountain was far, across colony territory, through patrol zones. It's suicide, he said. Myra smirked. Freedom usually is. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He sat near an old fan, watching shadows move. Lyra came and sat beside him. You still think you can escape? Jack looked at her. I don't want this escape. Then what? I want to end this. For the others who didn't make it. She nodded slowly. Then we'll help you. But there's one more thing you should know. She handed him a small capsule. Inside was something glowing. This is what they want from you, she said. Your DNA, your cells. They call it seed code. They think it's the key to saving their system. Jack stared at it. They want to use it to make more men. No, they want to make more obedient men, controlled, engineered. Jack's face darkened. Then let's make sure they never get it. The next morning, the resistance moved fast. Old hover bikes, signal jammers, camouflage cloaks. Everything was ready. Mira pointed to the sky. You have one night. After that, they'll find this base too. Jack climbed onto a bike with Lyra. Let's give them something to chase. As they rode out of the caves, alarms blared again in the colony. Male unit M1 has re-emerged. Extreme danger level. Capture. Immediately. But Jack wasn't hiding anymore. This time, he was fighting back. As they passed through a broken forest, Lyra pointed to a distant light. Bear? Skyspire. The mountain stood tall, glowing with ancient tech. A forgotten station from a time before the colony. Jack's heart pounded. That tower held his only chance to contact Earth. But between him and that tower were thousands of women trained to stop him. The shot missed his head by inches. Jack ducked behind a jagged rock as a beam sliced through the air. Dirt exploded. The heat stung his face. He didn't stop to think. Just ran. Lyra was just ahead, waving toward a narrow path. This way? Go now. Behind them, silver drones swarmed the skies. Soldiers in shining armor dropped from hovercrafts. Sirens screamed above the jungle. Male subject, and one is armed and fleeing. Termination authorized. Jack ran faster. His legs burned. His chest felt like fire. The only thing that kept him going was the mountain in the distance. Sky Spire dot if he could reach the top. He could call for help. If he failed, he'd disappear like the others. 30 minutes earlier, everything had been quiet. Jack and Lyra had stopped in a ruined greenhouse. Vines covered the glass. Giant purple plants grew wild. For a moment, it almost felt peaceful. They shared water, rested. Did you ever think, Jack asked, that maybe you were meant to escape too? Lyra looked at him. I never thought I'd live long enough to try. Then the window shattered. Drone hovered outside, red light flashing. Target located. Lyra screamed, "Run!" Now, in the present, they reached the edge of a cliff. Below, a sea of trees. Above, more drones coming. Lyra didn't hesitate. She jumped? Are you serious? Jack shouted. Too late. She activated a small glider on her back, and her body floated. Down like a feather through the trees. Jack had no time to think. He strapped on his own glider, took a breath, and leapt. Wind roared in his ears. The jungle rushed up. He pulled hard on the handles, barely dodging a tree. They landed rough. Rolled into mud. Jack coughed. I hate flying. Lyra laughed. Better than dying. But then they heard it. Boots. Heavy footsteps. Voices. They're close, she said. Jack's voice hardened. Then let's stop running. They slipped. Through the shadows, moving low and quiet. But the jungle had eyes. Drones scanned from above. Women tracked with sensors. Even the animals moved away, as if trained to avoid the hunted. Then came the voice. Not robotic, human. Jack, I know you can hear me. They froze. The voice came through hidden speakers in the trees. It was Sarah, the leader of the colony. You are not a prisoner, she said calmly. You are our future. Don't throw that away, Lyra hissed. She's trying to trick you. Jack clenched his fists. She already did. The voice continued. You are confused. You are angry, but your purpose is bigger than you think. Return and we'll give you anything. Safety, peace, power. Jack looked up at the speaker and whispered, I want none of that. Then he smashed it with a rock. Later that night, they found an old rail tunnel, a shortcut to Sky Spire. Dark, flooded, long dash abandoned. As they entered. The silence was thick. Only dripping water and the sound of their breathing. Lyra walked ahead. We're close. Just a few more hours and a gun clicked behind them. Don't move, said a voice from the shadows. A woman stepped out. Older, scarred, and armed. She wasn't from the resistance. Her armor was black. Her eyes cold. Jack stepped in front of Lyra. Who are you? I'm from the first circle, she said. We don't want to capture you. We want to end you. She raised her weapon. Jack closed his eyes. Bang. The shot never came. Instead, the woman gasped and fell. Behind her, Myra stood, holding a smoking weapon. You're not dying today, Jack. How did you find us? Lyra asked. Myra smiled. You weren't the only one who installed trackers. They moved quickly now. Through the tunnel, up the hill. The mountain was near. The old path turned into stairs, stone ones, cracked and ancient. Jack's legs screamed with each step, but he pushed forward. The wind grew colder, the air thinner. Finally they saw its Sky Spire, tall, broken, glowing. Faintly with lost tech. Jack stepped inside. The control room was dusty, rusted, dead. He moved to the console and slid the memory disk into the core. Lights flickered. Systems came online. Connection established. Signal ready. He opened a comm line. This is Jack Ryder. Human. Crashed on planet Varela. I am alive. This world has no men. I am not safe. Please respond. Then, silence. Lyra looked at him. Do you think anyone's out there? Jack smiled slightly. I hope they're better than the ones down here. Suddenly, red lights lit up. Incoming signal. But it wasn't Earth. It was the colony. Hello again, Jack. Sarah's face filled the screen. You sent your message. Good. Now it's time to come home. Asterisk. Jack sat alone in the dark. The signal was sent. The colony knew. The resistance was scattered. The tower hummed around him, alive with old tech, but none of that mattered now, because he had just heard the voice again. Hello again, Jack. Sarah's face flickered on the broken screen. Calm, cold, familiar. But this time, she wasn't angry. She looked tired. Maybe even sad. I never wanted it to end like this, she said. Jack said nothing. She leaned closer to the camera. You think we're monsters, but you don't know the whole story. The screen changed. Now it showed old footage, grainy, black and white. Hospitals, crying children, empty streets. A female voice narrated. 100 years ago, the sickness came. A virus that targeted only males. One by one, they died. We tried to save them. We failed. Jack stared in silence. The footage changed again. Women in lab coats. Emergency meetings. Riots. Panic. In our desperation, Sarah's voice said, we tried to recreate life. We cloned. We edited genes. But something was missing. Something real. The final image appeared. A man in a glass chamber, asleep. Hooked to wires. Labeled. Subject 0. Sarah spoke again. You are not the first, but you may be the last. Jack stood up, fist tight. Why didn't you tell the truth? We did, but only to those who were ready. The others needed control, order, faith, in something simple, like owning a man. She paused, like saving a species. Behind him, Lyra entered the room. She had watched it all. Jack turned to her. Did you know? She nodded. Some of it, not all. And you still fought against them? She met his eyes. Because truth without freedom is still a cage. A sudden tremor shook the tower. Warning lights blinked. Jack ran to the console. The colony's ships were coming. 10 of them. Fast. Lyra checked the scanner. They're bringing medical units. Labs, not weapons. Jack frowned. They're not here to kill me. No, she said quietly. They're here to take what they need. Myra's voice crackled. Through the comms. Jack, don't trust anything they say. They want your DNA, not your freedom. Sarah's face returned to the screen. You can leave, she said. We won't stop you. The signal is sent. Help is coming. But before you go, let me show you something. The screen cut to a laboratory. Inside. Hundreds of glass tanks. Inside the tanks. Infants. Male infants. Some perfect. Some twisted. Some silent. Jack stepped back. What is this? Sarah answered softly. Attempts. Failures. Without natural DNA, we couldn't create stable life. But you're natural. You are hope. Jack whispered. These aren't children. They're experiments. They're both, she said. Just like you. He stared at the tanks. So many. So still. Then he looked at his hand. The skin, the blood, the body they had chased and chained. He wasn't just a person to them. He was a resource. The tower shook. Again. Outside, the colony was landing. Lyra stepped closer. We need to go. Now. But Jack didn't move. He looked at the screen. He looked at the tanks. And for the first time since he crashed, he didn't know what to do. What if they're right? He asked. Lyra blinked. What? What if this is bigger than me? What if the only way to stop them is to help them do it better? You're not them, Jack, she said. You still have a choice. That's what makes you human. He looked at her. Then at the console. Then he reached for the core drive, pulled it out. The lights died. The lab feed cut. The signal ended. Jack turned away. They had their chance. They ran down the tower. Drones swarmed the sky. Shots fired from above. Sparks flew. Jack and Lyra jumped into a hidden pod. One of the Resistance's escape crafts. Ancient, dusty, half-broken. Jack set the course. Destination. Unknown. Somewhere far from the colony. Far from the lies. Far from what he almost became as. The pod rose into the clouds. Lyra looked at him. You didn't save them, she said. No, he replied. But I saved myself. She leaned back. Good. That means the story's not over yet. The stars were quiet again. Jack sat inside the small escape pod. Knees pulled to his chest, watching the dark sky stretch forever. He hadn't spoken in hours. Neither had Lyra. There was nothing left to say. Only space and waiting. Then, finally, a voice crackled over the radio. Unidentified vessel. This is Earth Command. Do you copy? Jack's heart skipped. He grabbed the mic, hands shaking. This is Jack Ryder. Human. Alive. I crashed on Varela. I'm not alone. I have one survivor with me. Message received. We've been tracking your signal. We're 2 hours away. Sit tight. Jack leaned back. He should have felt relief, but he DIDN single quotes T. 2 hours later, a rescue ship appeared through the clouds. Massive. Silver. Humming like thunder. It landed on a wide cliff far from the colony. The pod's hatch opened. Warm light spilled in. A woman in a black uniform stepped out. Earth insignia on her arm. She looked at Jack, then Lyra, then back at Jack. You're the one who sent the signal? Jack nodded. Yeah, we heard everything. The colony, the women, the truth. You did the right thing. Jack didn't answer. The officer continued. We'll take you home, both of you. But Jack hesitated. Lyra watched him carefully. You don't want to go back? She asked. Jack looked at the Earth ship, then back at the sky. I'm not sure where back is anymore. Inside the ship, they gave him a clean uniform, water, a bed. He didn't sleep. Later, they showed him a screen, a broadcast from Earth. Jack Ryder, survivor, hero, symbol of a new age. They were calling him the future, the bridge between two broken worlds. He wasn't sure how to feel. The next day, they gave him a choice. Return to Earth. Start over. Or go back. Jack frowned. Go back? To the colony? The officer nodded. Not as property. As a diplomat. A guide. Someone who can teach them. Jack stared. You want me to fix them? No, she said. We want you to help them fix themselves. If they'll let you. Jack walked out onto the landing deck. Lyra was watching this guy. She didn't speak at first. They want me to. Go back, he said quietly. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. They'll listen to you now. Jack sat beside her. I'm not a hero, he said. I know, she replied. That's why you might be the right person. In the distance, the colony shimmered like a mirage. Still standing. Still watching. They'll never stop trying. To control, he said. Maybe not, she answered. But if even one of them listens, maybe it starts to change. The next day, Jack made his decision. He stood in front of the Earth crew. I'll go back. But on one condition. What's that? They asked. No titles. No power. No chains. I'm not your symbol. I'm just a man. They flew him to the edge of the colony. No guards waited. No drones. Just SEIR. She stood alone, her crown gone. Her face older. You came back, she said. Jack nodded. I didn't come to belong. I came to build. She looked away. We don't know how. He looked her in the eye. Then let's start with that. Weeks passed. Then months. Jack lived. In the open, not behind glass. He taught the children. Taught history. Truth. Not all listened. But some did. One day. A little boy was born. Naturally. The first in generations. His mother named him Hope years later. Earth returned not with guns, but with teachers. The colony changed slowly. Not perfectly. But it changed, and Jack? He was no longer a prisoner. No longer a resource. No longer a hero. He was something rarer. A man. Free.